Hello and welcome to episode 5 of my modded Minecraft series. We polished off the Stone Age last time and we're looking to enter the Iron Age today, which I've taken a look at and hopefully filled in with some quests that should be appropriate. We may find out that some of the progression doesn't quite work, but we'll pop into creative and fix it if we have to. So, what have I done since last episode? Well, I've extended the farm a little bit so that these stems should now be growing outwards instead of inwards, and we can use this space around the inside here as well. Not quite done yet, still got a little way to go, but as you can see, the farm is going absolutely crazy and spitting out way more food than I can ever consume, and plenty of dirt too, to the point where I can just quite comfortably stuff anything I want into one of these barrels, really. Got plenty of carrots and melons and pumpkins and whatever else we need. I also used up that iron hammer that we got. Got myself about four and a half stacks of gravel and sieved all of that to give us a bit of a starting point on our minerals. So we've got loads of broken iron ore, a bit of copper, some emeralds. No diamonds yet, which I think are a drop from gravel, but we'll get there. We'll get there. They'll come. We don't need them just yet anyway. So let's have a look inside the book and see what our next move is. Looks like we've got 2 quests then. We get a cake for entering the Iron Age. And it says, progress through the Iron Age by automating processes where possible. Why chop, hammer and sieve when you can design and craft instead? Yes, we won't really be adding too many extra capabilities to our Skyblock here. We'll still be able to just produce, some metals, some other bits and pieces. But we should be doing it a lot faster, and we should be doing it without having to run backwards and forwards and sieve things and hammer things and stuff things in barrels. Which means we can free up our time to do some other things. This cake is great. How do these work? Do we put it down like a normal cake? Yeah, we do! And I assume we can eat it like that. Brilliant. Very nice. Bit unsanitary to have it just sitting around on the floor like that, but whatever. Let's see then. So, craft an igneous extruder. Cobble generation on an industrial scale. Plus, for the cost of a little lava or water, you can generate stone and obsidian too. So yes, this is a cobblestone generator in a block. What does it take to make, though? Now we've got a piston, got some glass, some copper gears, a pneumatic servo, which is a sort of standard crafting ingredient, really. Redstone, iron, and glass. And the same thing as is found at the centre of most thermal expansion machines, which is a machine frame. It's currently cycling through all the hideous versions that are very difficult to make, but there's the basic one. Tin gear, some iron, and some glass. Seems like it may be just a little bit expensive at the moment, and we can probably use almost the same parts to make something else. So this way we have a steam dynamo. Many machines and items use power in the form of redstone flux, or RF. Steam dynamos are cheap, powerful, and easily fueled with water and charcoal. Right, this definitely seems like it'd be more useful. And we are going to need power before we can build any other types of machines. We also need somewhere to put the machines. And I'm wondering about that, whether we should start extending our platform or whether we should just, move a couple of things around. Maybe we could put the barrels somewhere else. We could move all this over to the left a bit if we needed to. Perhaps in a little while, off camera, I'll get myself a couple of stacks of cobblestone together and we can build a nice cobble platform or a little hut sort of thing that we can work in. It may even be worth using one piece of iron to make a chisel, wherever the actual thing is itself. I assume the recipe is the same if I can ever find it. Used to be an ingot on a stick. Yes! Oh, we've got a diamond chisel. Interesting. Has multiple modes for chiseling. I wonder what that means. Well, we don't have a diamond, and if we did, it probably wouldn't be spare. But that's very easy to make, and it allows you to make all of these wonderful-looking blocks. So there's nothing new. Oh my goodness, those fans are the greatest thing I have ever seen. Technical block. That's really cool. Really, really cool. And there's great chisels just for the bog standard stuff we have access to at the moment as well. Chiseled cobblestone is in here somewhere, I assume. We've got lots of micro-blocked cobblestone. Here we are. Yeah, look. Loads of different cobblestone types. Small bricks, big bricks, patterned bricks, damaged bricks. So we can make something that looks pretty good without spending too much in the way of materials now that we have a fairly decent supply of cobblestone. But where were we? Dynamo. That's the one. Let's try and make a dynamo. So what was first? 2 copper gears. All right. Let's take all of the copper we have then and see what we can make out of this. How much are we aiming for? Copper gear is 4 copper. So 8 copper altogether would be good. So I think we may have to do a little bit more hammering and sieving before we can make this work. But let's see how much we get out of this. And then we'll know what we need to do. So this has a slight bonus factor. You get a little bit more than the original blocks you put in, but not by a lot. So I think we're probably going to end up with about 5 ingots from all of this, plus probably a little bit extra. 6. Great. Okay, so we need 2 more copper ingots, which shouldn't be too bad. We need a couple of iron ingots for the middle, if I remember correctly. So let's also just hammer down our iron very quickly. And I think what I'll do is I'll pop off camera and I'll get myself a couple of stacks of gravel, run that through the sieve. It only takes about 5 minutes to do a couple of stacks, it's no problem. And I will also try and get, well, I don't know how much cobblestone we'd need to make a little platform. Let's see, if we did a, say, 7x7 interior space, that's a 9x9 platform, which is 81, plus a little bit for the walls. Say a couple of stacks of cobblestone should do it, I reckon. Just to give ourselves a basic template so that we can lay out at least the base plan of the building. We can swap out, you know, the floors and the ceiling and stuff later to make it look good. But we kind of need to wait on building anything particularly cool until we've got a bit more access to some nice materials. There's only so much you can do with oak wood and cobblestone right here at the beginning. This is a very easy process though, very nice. I'm not even missing my iron hammer. I figured that was best used getting... Where did all that go? Oh, here it is. Getting gravel together. So that's 12 iron ingots. That's quite a lot. We may as well stick that onto smelt already. So I'm going to wander off. I will simply be hammering this into gravel and picking it a bit to get some cobblestone. And once I've got enough copper and iron together, plus I'll probably do a little bit more because we'll be needing it eventually, I'll be back. Glorious, isn't it? All cobblestone construction, 2 blocks thick, chiseled centerpiece. I did spend 1 piece of iron. And those connected textures look fantastic, I think. I'm hoping that the ones for, say, stone and stone brick are going to be even cooler once we've got plenty of fuel and enough time to do a bunch of cobblestone through our furnace. I'm actually standing on a giant pile of gravel to get this shot, and the reason for that is I had a quick look at what else the dynamo takes to manufacture. And as well as a bit of silver, which I think we do have somewhere down there, and a bit more copper that I can get my hands on fairly easily, it also requires 3 pieces of redstone dust, and I don't think we've seen any of that so far. I remember, I think, that redstone dust is obtained by sieving dust. So I think in the interests of finding out sort of what the possible range is, I'm going to make 32 sand, 32 dust, sieve it all up, and we will see what results. And hopefully at least one of those products will be enough redstone dust to proceed onwards with the dynamo. Any idea what an exotic seed is? Me neither. It says seed_jungle. So it might be a jungle tree? I don't know. We'll plant it at some point and find out. What else did I get? Melon seeds. Oh, cactus seed. Cocoa beans. Got some bone meal. Bit of gunpowder. I got quite a lot of odd stuff like skystone dust, cirque quartz dust, some crystals. I think I got a bit of clay, or did I just have that on me anyway? I maybe just had that on me anyway. I did get the redstone I needed, some glowstone dust, emeralds, got a diamond. That's kind of cool, not that I've needed one yet. I did manage to get together the copper that we'll need, plus a bit of silver and some other bits and pieces. So I think we are ready to manufacture our dynamo. So I do remember it was 2 copper gears, which were iron surrounded by copper. So that is those, and then I think it was in the book from there. Let's have a look. Iron Age. Yes, craft a coil. What kind of coil? A redstone transmission coil. Ah, so this is why I needed the silver and a couple more bits of redstone. Again, this is a fairly standard piece of crafting ingredient. Redstone transmission coil. You'll see that a lot. And what else? Oh, the final step is just to craft the dynamo itself. Let's just take a quick look. So it's the coil at the top, redstone at the bottom. Yeah, we can do that. What else do we need? Just 1 piece of redstone, I think. So, redstone at the bottom, coil at the top, the 2 gears, and a bit of copper. And we have ourselves a steam dynamo. Let's go and place it somewhere. Don't think it really matters where. Necessarily, I guess about here somewhere. Should be good. So, it's got an internal buffer of 40,000 RF. I assume one of these is steam and one of these is liquid. Or water, rather. That must be for fuel. We've got redstone control ignored. And 1 augmentation. Integrated redstone circuit. Redstone control. Oh, I see. So if we take that out, yes, the whole control thing disappears and it just works. Okay, we'll leave that in there for now. And I'll maybe just get some water and a bit of fuel and check that that works. Where did my bucket go? And have I got some charcoal in here? Oh, I can easily nick a few from here. Let's just try 4. I'm still slightly nervous because of the old GregTech and industrial craft machines that used to explode if you let them run out of water. Doesn't seem to do anything without the water. Let's see what happens now. Aha! I assume the light means it's working. Yes, it's filling up with RF. I can see it at the top. Man, that's quite quick, actually. It's really ripping through the water, though. That's a lot of RF. Power output, 40-something, and it's slowly dropping. I guess it slowly brings the power output down as this fills up. Maximum 80 RF per tick. I think that's pretty nice. So, the question is, what on earth are we going to do with all that power? Oh, we get a reward too. What's that? A portable tank. Oh, right, yes. Yes. This should allow me to schlep my water around a little bit easier. We may, though, need a special tool for picking it up without losing what's inside it. Thought I lost my bucket for a second then. Oh, it keeps going back into my inventory. That's a bit weird, isn't it? So if we put a couple of buckets of water in there and then hit it with a pick. Oh, it's got 4 buckets of water in it still. Perfect! Which means we can just crack it down over here. And... but that's going to get really annoying. And bucket it in. Okay, that's better. Oh, it's full. And it's full of RF as well. Okay, let's take that fuel out. We don't want to waste it. And the water situation is fine. We'll just leave that there for the moment. So what's next? We could generate redstone flux. Show your power to the world. Use energy cells to store RF for later use. Or use later. We have to craft a cell to begin with. Leadstone energy cell. What do you take? Leadstone energy cell. So it's some more copper. Yay! A conductance coil which takes electrum. How does one do that? Electrum blend. So you have to grind down. Oh no, that's an electrum ingot. Ah, no you do. Pulverized gold and silver. Okay. I assume we can get that from a grindstone or from a pulverizer. Fine. That might be a little bit difficult right now. Let's see what else we've got. Craft aqueous accumulator. Place 2 water source blocks next to the accumulator and you can pipe water into your dynamo. No more fetching and carrying buckets. That does sound nice, but we don't really use our power yet, so I don't think we're going to be having the dynamo on all the time. Let's look at this. Craft a pulverizer. Many recipes require alloyed materials. Metals, sorry. Many recipes require alloyed metals, which are composed of pulverized metal dusts. Yeah, so we saw that in the Electrum recipe. And I think that's probably the way to go. Also, that looks like a sieve. So I want it. I assume it's an automatic sieve. I think it's automatic sieve. I can't remember. Let's see if such a thing exists. Sieve. Yes, automatic sieve. Great. Ah, but it takes Invar and Electrum and all sorts of fun things. Yes, we definitely want a pulverizer then. Let's work our way towards that. Pulverizer. What do you need? 2 more copper gears. Why am I not surprised? Redstone reception coil, which is gold and redstone, and a machine frame, which I think we established was, yeah, iron and a bit of tin. Well, the iron and tin aren't going to be a problem. The redstone is a little bit tricky because we just used our last up, and copper gears as well. So I think it's just going to be a case of spending another 5 or 10 minutes making some more dust and some more gravel and going at it again. Boy, I hope we can get this automated before too long, because I am getting a little bit tired of doing it. It doesn't take very long, it's true, but it's starting to wear a little thin. So I'll see you after I've done a bit more. I might just do a lot and try and have it over and done with forever. Well, probably not forever, but for some time. Either way, I will return. If you promise not to tell anybody, especially the idiot who's writing the quests in the book, we might be able to take a bit of a shortcut here. Because my main problem, I think, with making minerals at the moment is the fact that I can only be sieving or gathering gravel or whatever from the cobblestone farm. And that automatic sieve, really the only thing stopping us from building that, which admittedly jumps crafting a pulverizer, is the fact that we need those pulverized dusts. But if you look up grindstone, which was the alternate way of making those dusts, it's really easy. We've got 5 of these Certus quartz crystals, so we've definitely got the 3 we need. This is a bit of stone, a wooden gear. All of that's much, much easier to make than a pulverizer. And then we can set up our automatic sieve over in the corner there, just keep the engine, or dynamo, whatever it's called, topped up with water, and then we can be making gravel while it's sieving our stuff for us. And I think we should get everything else twice as fast, and we'll make the pulverizer anyway. And then we'll make something else, but we'll have already made the sieve. That's all that's really going to happen. And I think it will work out very nicely. So, 3 Certus quartz crystals. 1, 2, 3. And we will need some sticks and various bits and pieces like that, because if I remember correctly, it was something like this. Yeah, a wooden gear. And some stone, which is why I chucked that in there. So we've got 3 pieces of stone in a V. And it's cobblestone in the corners, I think. And that means we had the wooden gear at the top. And the 3 spaces left must be Certus quartz. Great. And the other thing I happen to know that you need, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, perfect, is a crank for the top. This, I get the feeling, is a sort of anti-AFK type affair. Because if you try and use the crank, let's put that in there, when there's nothing in it, it doesn't do anything, and eventually it, well, I did it too much actually, and did exactly what I was describing. It breaks. It breaks off. And that's far too much wood. Just a little bit, please, thank you. So, yeah, I think that's to stop you from just going AFK, because it keeps breaking the crank off, which is very irritating. I don't know how using something like an autonomous activator works with the grindstone. That's the thermal expansion thing that can simulate a right or a left click. So I guess you could kind of automate your ores with this thing if you really wanted to, with a couple of hoppers or whatever. So, what did we need for a sieve? That is the real question. So we've got an electrum gear in the middle, which means we need 4 of these ingots. So we need presumably 4 of the dust. And we get 2 per recipe. So we need 2 gold and 2 silver ground up. Let's have a look. 2 silver is very easy. 2 gold. Surely we have some gold. We do have a bit of gold. Definitely enough. So if you'll forgive me, at least it's a different material, I'll hammer this down. Oh, for the automatic hammer as well. Okay. And that will make us, what? 3. Which is 1 more than we need. So let's put, we might as well put all 3 in actually. Pop the last of the dusts away. And I suppose we might as well grind this silver down. So we whack that in there. Hold down our right mouse button. Wait for it to stop spinning. There we go. And then we need that gold as well. I think there was 1 piece of iron in the middle of the cog or gear or whatever it was. I'll grab that while we're there. Keep this going around. Doesn't take very long actually. It's very quick. And as we saw much earlier on, we can also put wheat through it to get 1 piece of bread per wheat if you ever need to. So that gives us 4 electrum blend, which we smelt into ingots. And that's that part of the recipe done. The rest of it takes 2 invar nuggets and 4 ingots. So that's basically 5 ingots overall, I think. And they again are a blend, which we get in 3s. So we'll need twice the recipe, which is 4 pieces of iron and a piece of ferrous metal. Do I have 4 iron? I do, thank goodness for that. And ferrous metal, I believe, is the weird name for nickel. Which, again, we have plenty of. We're certainly using all the different metals, aren't we? Not sure if there's particularly many that we haven't used now. Which is a little bit worrying because we are going through our stocks fairly quickly, but hopefully this will replace them much faster than we can use them in the future. Right, nickel ore dust, which we can cook. I think we needed 2 of those. Let's make our gear. Perfect. And while that is smelting, we'll take our ingots of iron over to the grindstone. Oh, this is so much better than having a pulverizer. Maybe have to tweak the quest book a bit as well to reflect this. In fact, that kind of means that you might not need a pulverizer for quite a while. If you can do everything in this grindstone, I wonder what the first thing you need to build that actually requires a pulverizer is. That's a good question. And one to which I don't know the answer. We could just be a bit perverse and try and avoid making a pulverizer for as long as possible just to see. But I think if it makes things easier, we'll have one. It wasn't massively expensive. It's just the grindstone was a lot cheaper. So I think it was like that to make the Invar blend, and we have got 6 of it. So that'll make the bits and pieces that we need for the Invar section of it. And I think there was a, what's it called? Silk mesh, that's right. Which was just 9 pieces of string, so that's easy. All done. Just waiting on our Invar ingots. Is there anything we need to make this work? I don't think so. Should just be RF and whatever we want to sieve. Oh, maybe I'll get some gravel together actually quickly. Be right back. Okay, that was fairly easy. Got myself a stack of gravel. Collected everything we need to make this automatic sieve. So let's go stick that on our dynamo and see how it works. Put on top like that. I think the dynamo only outputs power in one direction for the moment. Put some gravel in there. I thought we had some power saved up. It's full. Perhaps it needs to be operating to actually pass its power along to the other block. Let's chuck, say, 8 charcoal in there. See what happens. Oh, yes! Well, the internal power reserve is definitely dropping. And this is charging up. Let's get rid of NEI for a second. And yeah, it's sieving away. Can we see it? Oh, very nice. And I'd say it was probably about as fast as a player. Maybe a little slower. But automatic. Great. Well, it's going to make things much easier. I can be standing over here. I can just occasionally top it up with water, make sure it's fueled, and let it do its thing. And I'll achieve twice as much work in the same amount of time. But unfortunately, I think we're running a little bit low on time for today. So in between now and next episode, I'll use that little setup to generate a whole bunch more minerals as we build a few more machines next time. And hopefully we'll get to the point where we can just have a chest which fills up with those sifting products without us having to do anything at all. And then we can think about using those materials in very interesting and no doubt complex ways. But until then, I will keep an eye on the Skyblock, and I'll see you in the next episode.